Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I thought I would do something totally different with my Faith Art box. So I am working in Unsinged. This is the February kit from Creative Retreat, and my Bibles are getting kind of full, and I am having a hard time. Like, I'm answering the questions in my head, but I'm not doing anything with the reflection questions. And so as I was looking through the kit this month and I saw the printables, so these are the printables that you can purchase in addition to the kit. I showed these in my unboxing, so I will have the unboxing down below if you want to see that. But the printables come with a bunch of these 3x4 cards. And so I thought it might be fun to create like a little mini book and kind of cut apart the questions and have a space to answer the questions and work through the kit in a little mini book that I'm going to decorate with, of course, products from the kit. And I pulled in like a photo that I'm going to stick in here, and I've got a bunch of the enamel shapes from Creative Retreat, but I also pulled out some die cuts from the Here and There collection from Crate Paper because the colors are very similar to the colors that are in the kit this month, and so I thought it'd be fun to kind of tie in some of those products as well. So I've gone ahead and just fussy cut out all of the printables and pulled everything that I think that I'm going to use, and that way I can put the book together, and I will kind of set up a base for each day, and then as I work through the kit this month, I can go in and fill out those questions and work through the scripture. So let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and we will put this together.
Okay, so these are really simple to put together. I've already lined up the cards in the order that I want. I'm going to lay the cover face down and then the first page face up, with a slight gap in between the two cards, and then just laying down a strip of washi tape and then just proceeding same technique through the rest of the cards. You do want to make sure that you leave a little bit of a gap between the two cards, so you don't want to butt them up next to each other. By leaving a little bit of a gap, it allows the pages to open and close a lot easier than if you butt them up together. So I'm just going to let all the tails of the washi hang out, and we'll deal with that in a second. I did want to add this little tassel. This is from, I think it's from the Here and There collection as well. So I've just pulled out some embroidery thread to attach to it. This isn't going to be a functional like bookmarker or anything like that. I just wanted the fun texture kind of peeking out of the edge of the book. So I'm about halfway through the book. I'm going to lay this down, but this ends up not working, and I'll point out where you should add this in a later time. But I hadn't ever really done this before, so I'm just kind of experimenting at this point. The washi tape I'm using is one that I had gotten from Creative Retreat a couple years ago, but it is sold out. You do want to make sure you're using a washi tape that is a good sticky washi tape. If you've played with washis, then you know some are stickier than others. You definitely want a good quality washi to do this. That way it holds together. And I'm doing this so that it is basically a blank side on the left-hand side and then the front of the card on the right-hand side of this book. And as you're assembling this, you could either print out these cards multiple times and add multiple cards or use pattern papers. Here is where I've flipped the book upside down. So the page on the right is actually the front cover. The white page on the left is actually the back cover. And here is where you should insert that little tassel, is right before you stick that last piece of washi. That would have worked better, but it all comes together, and you can see how that closes up and has that little tassel there. So you could easily insert, like I said, pattern papers, journaling cards. You could really make this as big as you want by adding extra cards and layers in there, which is kind of nice about being able to customize it. So at this point, I'm going to speed this up quite a bit because it's really just going through all the different ephemera pieces I have and just testing things out and finding homes for it. I want to have, plenty of embellishment in there, but I also want to leave myself plenty of room to actually answer the reflection questions, because that is the purpose of this little mini book. So this mini book, when it's all finished, is 3x4 size, just the same as the cards. If you don't use those journaling cards and use pattern papers, of course, then you can make it whatever dimensions that you wanted. Here I have all of my past Creative Retreat stickers on a binder ring, and I'm just going to flip through and use a whole bunch. This is the perfect project for busting through your stash and using up some of your past kits. There are several of the past kits that have colors that are seen again in other kits, so you can kind of mix and match very easily. Here you can see I'm pulling out a variety of alpha stickers and number stickers from past kits that are in colors very similar to this month's kit. This does take a little bit of time to put together, not gonna lie, but now that all the pages are done, I don't really need to add embellishments when I go back to work in it. I can just go and work in it. I can focus on the reflection questions, focus on the verse study, and that kind of thing. For this first page, it has you reflecting on my rescue story, and so I printed out this photo of my family because they are definitely a part of my rescue story. I printed it out using the HP Sprocket portable printer. I'll have that link down below for you guys. It creates these little 2x3 sticky backed pictures, which are perfect for a project like this. And so I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want it to go in here. I ended up changing my mind and actually pulling it back up, which is a big no-no. Don't do that. It tears the cardstock and I have to deal with that later. But initially I'm going to put it here towards the top. But again, just leaving myself some room to journal things. That rescue story is just going to be a spot for me to journal out my testimony, and then I can go through the other pages and add the reflection questions. So you're going to see me do lots of testing and playing around. Again, I did pull out some of those ephemera pieces from the Here and There collection to add, details throughout, but you don't have to embellish it to the amount that I embellished it. Here I'm testing out some of those enamel stickers. I ended up not using very many of the enamel stickers just because they do add a little bit of a texture, and I was afraid it would make it difficult to write in this book later on if I had a whole bunch of enamel stickers, behind the pages. So you'll just see me pop a few of those in. For the questions, you can see I'm not going to write them out. I am literally just going to cut them off of the devotional booklet, cut them apart, and glue them right into the book. The devotional content's still in there untouched, so I can read through that. But this just saves time, and that way the questions have their own page and a place for me to respond to it, and it's all put together and kept together. And so in the future, if I want to come back to it and revisit those questions or kind of look past and see, at a future time, look back and see what my answers were to some of those questions, and maybe it's changed over the years or whatever, I can definitely go back and look at that, and it's all in one place versus being, several different entries in a journaling Bible, and I have to remember which journaling Bible those entries are in, and, things like that. So this is a great option. Also a great option for those of you who are a little bit apprehensive about creating art in your Bible. If that's something that you don't want to do, this is a great alternative for getting to participate in the Bible journaling group and community, and getting to play with die cuts and stickers and stamps and all those fun things, and not having to worry about it damaging Bible pages if that's something that concerns you. I did pull out a couple of the Creative Retreat stamp sets, and I'm sometimes stamping the number of the reflection question. That's not necessary, but I just thought it would be a fun element to add to it. Not every page has a tab. A few of them have tabs. Again, not really functional, but just an embellishment. I am going in and using my ruler to add some journaling lines ahead of time. Like I said, I want to be able just to sit down and work on the Bible study portion of this kit, and not have to worry about the creative part as I work through these questions. So the lines are already ready for me. I can just go in and write my response. It is kind of small, so if you're somebody that has arthritis or has a hard time seeing, you may want to maybe print out the cards in a larger format or create a larger book. That way you have more space to write. But I usually am not too wordy with my responses, so this should work just fine. I did pull out a variety of the Creative Retreat inks. On my Instagram, I usually try to share a post with those colors that I've coordinated. You also get that in the newsletter from Creative Retreat. I try to put those together for them, so you can see what colors I've pulled out to match the kit each month. And so I'm just using that to use some of the stamped embellishments from the kit. There was lots of fun pieces in the stamp set this month, and even after putting together this book, I still have plenty of alpha stickers from this month and plenty of regular stickers from this month, as well as the stamp set, so I can go on and do Bible journaling entries as well in addition to this little notebook. So there's plenty. You see I added that little number from the stickers this month. And sometimes the pages, like this one on the right hand side, are just an embellishment page. There's not going to really be any room to write over there, so I'm just adding some phrases, some of those die cuts from the printables, and just kind of a resting spot on there. It does not have to all be functional. I'm trying to use up as much as I can. My issue with printables is I'm kind of a hoarder, and so I save them and then I never go back and use them because then I just have too many in a giant cluster. So when I sit down to work with printables, I try to use as much as I can the initial time that I sit down with them. That way things don't go to waste. On this card here. It's also just going to be a filler card, so I'm using the stamp set to stamp out a phrase. Towards the bottom, I love the journaling cards in the printables that Creative Retreat is offering now. They are just super fun, super cute, and they remind me of the Felicity Jane journaling cards in that they are simple, but also, you know, they can stand alone on their own, or they're simple enough that you can also add embellishments and kind of create something that is your own. And so I like the versatility that you have with those journaling cards. This one, I didn't leave myself quite as much room to write, but that's okay. I think it'll be just fine. I'm even using some of the trimmings. So this little tab I'm creating here is actually a piece that I cut off from the label on the front cover, and I'm going to use the rest of it as a tab. So again, just trying to use up all my bits and pieces. Great stash busting project. I really think that I'm going to be doing these mini books for the foreseeable future with all my kits, because it just gives me a nice place to answer, you know, the questions and have everything in one place. I think I'll get a lot more use out of my kits by adding this into the Bible journaling that I was already doing. And while yes, it did take some time to sit down and do this initially, the work's all done and I'm ready for the rest of the month. So I've slowed this down so you can take a nice slow look through here. You can see there's enough embellishment that it is good to go, and then I can just go in and write. On the right hand side there, I might add a verse or some more stamping if I want to, but it's pretty much all complete and easy to jump into. So I hope that that was inspiring. I hope that gave you some ideas for using your kits. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Check out the description box for links to everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.